What's going on, guys? In the works, and after many days of grinding out the double XP and eating Slim Jims for Battle Pack codes, I have finally reached the coveted level 100 on Battlefield 4, only to find out that with China Rising they actually increased the level cap to 110, which is kind of disappointing, but level 100 was kind of that goal I set for myself. I'm like, alright, I'm going to get the level 100 on my main account. It would feel like an accomplishment. I finally got to it this weekend. And I want to talk about some of the things that worked for me, some of the things I learned about Battlefield 4 as a whole, because getting to level 100 is kind of like that, ultimate, okay, I've hit the level cap, now I can focus on playing with some of the more obscured guns, the underused weapons, and just having a good time. And I kind of just burned through the levels. I was looking for the best way to level up quickly, and I played a lot of Conquest. I've got like 60 Conquest service stars or something like that. Didn't play a lot of Domination. I know a lot of people will say, hey, Domination's where the points are at, but I mean, look at how many points I'm getting right now. 535 points from just capping a flag and getting one kill. I would say that's a pretty good deal. I would say that's a lot of points. So it worked really well for me. I know a lot of people have been stacking their double XP boost on top of the double XP weekends, and that's a great way to go about it. But one of the classes or just setups that I liked running throughout my entire climb to level 100 were the silenced carbines, and that was a big deal for me when I finally discovered these, because I wasn't a huge fan of the silencer in Battlefield 3. It took me a while to get adjusted to it here in Battlefield 4, but once I learned how to use it, it worked really well. And some of the weapons I thought worked well with it were the A91, the MTAR, the AK-5C, the SG-553, the ACWR. All those worked really awesome. But the great thing about those being all-purpose kits is you could use a weapon that I consider on par with the assault rifles, so you're not going to be kind of crippled like the engineer kit was. I felt like the M4 A1 was a little bit weaker than like the M16 just because the damage drop-off happens a little bit quicker. So you don't have that really, I don't think, with the carbine, the all-purpose weapons here in Battlefield 4. So I found myself using them a ton. I felt like this is where the sweet spot was for the game. So I really did enjoy using these on all the different kits. You see me running support here. I had 3 service stars with the support, 4 service stars with assault, 3 service stars with recon, and the majority of the time I was using the all-purpose weapons like the carbines. So silenced carbines were the way to go, and I could probably replicate this game you're watching 15 different times with the ACR, or like I said, the A91 silence, just because it doesn't really matter what weapon you're using. It's all about the silencer and how you approach the maps, because the one thing I learned that I wanted to really, for you guys to take away from this video, was that for whatever reason, in Battlefield 4, it is very, very risky, to say the least, to play the objective. It is putting your life on the line, because for whatever reason, oftentimes there's probably about 5 people in any given game that's interested in capping flags, which can be very problematic. This map in particular, you'll notice that a lot of times the teams will group up at C and D, and that's all they'll do. They'll just group there. They won't cap any of the perimeter flags. They'll sit up on the rooftops. They'll snipe. No one's capping flags. You're going in there. You're going tit for tat. Like, you'll go in there. You'll get like 2 kills, and then you'll get killed, and then they'll recap the flag. So it was quite an adjustment for me to go from Battlefield 3, where I felt like people were generally wanting to win the game, to like Battlefield 4, where I often feel like my team is just apathetic. I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing, but it's almost like people just don't care. So the silencer helps me be a little bit more sneaky. It helps me stay off the radar. I know that there's commanders that will oftentimes pop you up on radars, but any advantage I can get, I will take. And the suppressor does give you a slight advantage over people, and it helps you cap flags. So being someone who was just looking to level up very, very quickly, this is one of the approaches I took. Now, as far as classes go, Engineer was what I used the most. I've got 10 service stars with Engineer. It is my favorite class in Battlefield 4. I would argue it is the best, because denying other players of vehicle superiority, keeping vehicles destroyed, is arguably the most important thing in Battlefield 4. So I play the majority of my time as an Engineer. I would say that my second favorite class is probably Support. And I say that oddly because I don't often use the LMGs. I find there's only really 2 or 3 LMGs that I really like. But giving ammo to people is pretty important in this game, because I run out of ammo all the freaking time. I don't know what it is, but I'm always asking a support player for ammo. So I know that if I'm a support player out there giving ammo, I'm doing the opposite of what I always feel like, where there's never enough support players out there. Now, a lot of people will play Assault. I would say that's probably the second most played class, but it's pretty useless in Battlefield 4, in my opinion, unless you're playing like TDM or Domination. Domination, I usually go Assault or Support. I very rarely run Engineer on Domination just because it's kind of pointless. I mean, there's not really any vehicles, so there's no reason for Engie to be out there. But I really think the Engineer class is the best class in Battlefield 4. So let me know what you guys have been playing as far as classes, because I'm curious what everyone seems to like. I still see a lot of noobs out there that are still playing the Assault class like, oh man, it's just as good as it was in Battlefield 3 when it's not. And nothing makes me laugh more when we load into Silk Road and you've got 4 different medics in your squad and you're like, really? Really, guys? I mean, this isn't a vehicle map. There's 4 tanks aside, there's 3 LAVs, and you decide it's a great idea to run medic. I don't know, those kind of things just make me scratch my head, but it's been an interesting journey to level 100. I'm glad I'm finally here. At the end of the day, I could say Engineer is the best kit in my opinion, and Battlefield 4 has been an up and down experience, but I'm very positive about the game going forward. I try to be, just because I know if you're really negative about the game, usually it's just like, it's not fun to play, and I've been having probably 5 or 6 good days in a row of playing the game, so hopefully that's a good sign, a step in the right direction. So like I said, let me know what class you guys played the most through your journey in Battlefield 4, and if you missed my past videos, here's a chance to catch up. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.